The Vorthack's revenge had been the most coveted prize at the Nexus Station auction house for 3 standard months. The sleek, biomechanical warship stretched 2 kilometers from bow to stern, its iridescent hull rippling with neural pathways that pulsed like a living heartbeat. Weapons dealers, mercenary captains, and even representatives from the Terran Defense Coalition had tried to claim it, but the ship had rejected every single buyer with violent prejudice. Marcus Riley pushed his maintenance cart down the pristine corridors of Nexus Station's high-security docking bay, whistling an old Earth tune as he went. At 42, he'd been cleaning these halls for 7 years, content with his simple life maintaining the galaxy's most expensive real estate. The pay was decent, the work steady, and nobody bothered him. He paused outside Bay 94, where the notorious Vorthack warship sat in quarantine. Through the reinforced transparisteel, Marcus could see the ship's hull shimmer with agitated colors, deep purples and angry reds that supposedly indicated its displeasure. 3 more buyers had tried to board yesterday. The first had been launched out the airlock with such force he'd crashed into the opposite wall. The second had emerged screaming about voices in his head. The third simply vanished, his molecules presumably scattered across the ship's interior. Poor thing, Marcus muttered, pulling out his cleaning supplies. All alone in there. Station regulations required daily decontamination of the observation corridor, even though nobody had successfully entered the bay in weeks. Marcus activated his sonic scrubber and began working on the viewport, humming contentedly. He'd always found cleaning meditative, a way to bring order to chaos. As he worked, something peculiar happened. The angry reds in the ship's hull began to fade, replaced by curious yellows and soft blues. Marcus didn't notice at first, too focused on removing a particularly stubborn stain. But gradually, he became aware of a strange warmth against his back. He turned to find the ship's neural pathways had reorganized themselves into what almost looked like eyes. Hundreds of them, all focused on him through the transparisteel. "Well, hello there," Marcus said softly, the way he might greet a stray cat. The ship's colors shifted to a warm golden hue. The massive hull actually seemed to press closer to the window, as if trying to get nearer to him. Marcus reached out and placed his palm against the transparisteel. The ship's response was immediate and extraordinary, cascades of silver light raced along its hull, and a deep, harmonious hum resonated through the station's bulkheads. "Sir! Sir, step away from the window." A security guard came running down the corridor, his face pale with terror. "That thing is dangerous." But Marcus felt no fear. Instead, he sensed something he'd never experienced before, a profound connection, like finding a missing piece of himself he'd never known was lost. The ship wasn't dangerous, he realized. It was lonely. It had been waiting, searching for someone who understood. "It's okay," Marcus whispered to the ship. "I see you." The bay's blast doors suddenly cycled open with a pneumatic hiss. Alarms began blaring throughout the station as the Vorthack's revenge extended what could only be described as a gangway, a bridge of living metal that flowed across the deck to Marcus's feet. The security guard was shouting into his comm unit, calling for backup, for the station commander, for anyone who might know what to do. But Marcus barely heard him. He was already walking across the bridge, feeling the ship's joy and welcome wash over him like warm sunlight. As his boots touched the ship's deck, Marcus felt the neural pathways beneath his feet pulse with contentment. The ship had finally found its pilot, not a warrior or a merchant or a politician, but someone who saw it not as a weapon or a tool, but as a living being deserving of understanding and companionship. The Janitor and the warship had found each other at last.